want to learn everything about our versatile, flexible charts with Delphi and C++ Builder, we are starting this new series for you, a series covering our TMS FNC chart. This is the first video in this series as an introduction for our FNC chart. And what it already sets apart among other charts for Delphi and C++ Builder is that you can simultaneously use it in different frameworks. So our chart can be used in your VCL Windows applications, but it can also be used in a FireMonkey cross-platform application and also for a web client application with our TMS WEB Core framework. And that means that with our charts, you can create applications that run on Windows, macOS, Android, iOS, Linux, and of course also a little bit everywhere on the web with our TMS WEB Core framework. When talking about charts, very important is of course what chart types you can use, and we use or support a lot of chart types, and that includes bar, stacked bar, line charts, area charts, stacked area, and this both in an absolute form and in a percentage form. What is also included is XY line chart, XY scatter chart. For more financial data, we have the multi-point charts that are the OHLC, candlestick and box plot charts. We have for other types of data the pie chart, donut chart, spider and markers. Binding to data is of course also something that is crucial when talking about charts. The flexibility to bind the chart to existing data. We can, for example, import data from CSV files and JSON files, but we can also bind it to an existing data set, whether that's a client data set or a data set for an existing database. You can bind that to the chart, and the chart will get to the data and visualize the points that are found in the database tables. You can also interface it to our FNC data grid. That means that you have a rectangular area of data in the grid, and you can set up the synchronization between that data in the grid and the charts visualized in our FNC chart component. And finally, we also interface with our TMS Analytics package that is responsible for parsing and also calculating mathematical functions. And as you can see on the screenshot, here is a visualization of a mathematical function in our FNC chart. Our FNC chart is further highly customizable. It offers both design time and runtime chart editors. It has configurable legend, markers and annotations. You have full control over the x-axis and the y-axis, its formatting, how it arranges and zooms in these axes. And you can select also between logarithmic and linear scales. You can toggle animation and 3D drawing mode, and you can also perform interactions, for example, like zooming in on the x-axis range or y-axis range with mouse and keyboard. So let's jump into our Delphi IDE, where I will give you already a first introduction in the experience with our TMS FNC chart. So here we are in the Delphi IDE, Delphi 13 is this, and we are going to pick a FNC chart from the component palette. You can see the FNC chart is installed here, and I can pick this chart and drop it on the form. It already contains some data to visualize the different aspects of what can be done with an FNC chart. When I double click the chart component, you can see the various editors for the chart coming up. We can select the chart type, and you can see that it immediately updates live at design time when I select a different chart type. And the same applies to the appearance, When I, for example, select a different background color, you see it updated immediately on the form designer in the IDE. The same applies to the legend that I can turn on and off, for example, and customize different things. Everything is immediately visible in the form designer. And one of the important things here is, of course, the series. We have 3 series in this chart, and you can select each of these series. And as you can see, as you select the series, you see the different properties for these series appear in the multi-tab for every series, and you can immediately change property and see the effects of changing these properties immediately at design time. And I can also do the same at runtime, and for example, I can drop the chart editor dialog on the form, hook it up to the existing chart that is on that same form, and then it is as simple as executing that dialog. For example, with this button, let's add the customize text on this button, and from this button click event handler, I will invoke the execute method of the chart editor dialog, and here it is at runtime. Here we have the chart, and when I go to customize, the same editor appears, and from here I can further customize my chart in any possible way that I want. Everything is accessible also at runtime for your end users, so that they can do everything they want with this chart. So that's a brief introduction of our FNC chart. Like I said, this is going to be a series. We're going to cover the FNC chart in much more detail for the different possibilities that you have. So stay tuned. Follow this channel, subscribe to it, so you will be notified when we have the next part in this series coming up. Be in touch, and we will inform whatever we have in this series coming up, or on any other topic related to our TMS software components. Thanks for watching. Until the next episode.